Hello and welcome back. My name is Lauren and today I am going to be watching How to Drink. This is going to be Drinks from Cowboy Bebop. I am excited for this. I've not seen a lot of Cowboy Bebop. I know that all of you are shocked to hear that. I've seen like 3 episodes of it. But I did enjoy it, and you know what? Let's just see if some of the alcohol involved might make me a little bit more interested in watching it. I am excited to get into this. I want to see how they are made and if they're gonna be any good. Usually I would have a drink myself while I'm doing something like this, but I am under the weather at the moment, and it's probably not good for me to drink too much other than possibly a toddy on occasion, but I'm not right now. So, sorry for that. You don't get me drinking this episode, but maybe next time. Let's go. Is he a fan, do you think? Do you think he's a fan?
I think it's time we blow this thing. Get everybody in their stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. This is How to Drink. Today we're talking about Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a amazing anime. It came out in 1998. I was a huge fan back then. In my mind,
shocking. I am shook. I am shooketh to the core.
I thought it had to have been older because it's just so cyberpunk and 80s feeling that I thought for sure that we were just getting the translation in 1998 here in the States. But in fact, it actually was created for 1998. If you're
I honestly also thought that it came out a lot later. I mean, I didn't really know people watching it, I don't think then. I knew people in middle school who were watching it. So in the mid 2000s, I knew people who were watching this show, but I also definitely thought it was like an ancient, like old anime, and I was like, why are you watching that?
If you're not familiar with it, it is a very jazzy signature soundtrack by Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts, as you were entertained with in my cold open there. It's a space western noir cyberpunk that takes place in the future, not that far in the future anymore, sadly. Follows the exploits of a couple of bounty hunters, Spike and Jet, aboard the Bebop, their spaceship. From episode 3 on, they are joined by Faye Valentine, American, frequently cosplayed. Her wardrobe makes one ask a lot of questions about shoulder thongs. I'm pretty sure that it's suspenders that just connect in such a way that makes it really look whatevers. And
Doesn't matter.
Ed, who is Hacker Child.
Are you sure you're looking for Faye?
It's been a long time since I've watched it all the way through. And in truth, I wonder if I would like it as much as I did back then. I think I was a much angstier man in 1998. It was refreshing to me as a teenager to see something that was like so hard-boiled, noir, and animated at the same time. There wasn't a lot of that. And the soundtrack was amazing. I was a freaking nerd. I used to just drive around, listen to that stuff. It was great. I loved it. So we do see a fair amount of drinking in the series, and most of it is just nondescript, straight spirit drinking or a beer. And when I was looking for drinks to make from the series, a lot of people said, oh, I should do an adaptation of Red Eye, the drug that we're introduced to in the first episode.
Keep those eyes open.
The trade of which a lot of the series revolves around. I don't know, I feel like there's better places to go. So this episode is the drinks of Cowboy Bebop, and I did a lot of research to pull 3 specific drinks, one for each of our characters. We're gonna do a Spike drink, we're gonna do a Faye drink, and a Jet drink. So we're gonna start with Spike.
It is underage and is a dog. I like that logic. Good reasoning. Appreciate that.
Who prepares himself a prairie oyster.
Prairie oyster, that's like I usually consider that sort of like a hair of the dog, like you've been drunk, so now you have to drink something that will, it's supposed to cure your hangover. Okay, I'm trying to remember what it was. It's like egg, and I don't know if like tomato juice, Worcestershire sauce. It's kind of like, isn't it a prairie oyster how, spoiler alert, in Heather's, JD and Veronica kill Heather Chandler?
while a brawl rages around him. He's nervous and a hangover. He's got to make his eye opener there, and then it drops in his lap. So I'm going to make this in the glass, in a small glass. Now, most prairie oysters are actually non-alcoholic, but I know for certain that Spike's isn't non-alcoholic because there's a big bottle of Boofeater gin sitting right next to him. You start to make a prairie oyster by adding an egg yolk to the glass you're going to have it in. It's mandatory that the yolk is unbroken. Good. I see.
It's mandatory that the egg is unbroken. Immediately breaks yolk.
Then we're gonna add just a little pinch of salt and a little black pepper. Toss that in there. A couple dashes of this Worcestershire sauce.
See,
One
I've been
dash
right
of hot
so far.
sauce.
Hot sauce.
Traditionally, I think Tabasco, but I don't have any problem doing Cholula. And normally that's the whole thing. That's it.
Oh, right. I definitely was thinking it was more of a Bloody Mary type thing. I knew it was the egg was the important thing, and then you just have to eat the raw egg.
But we know that Spike's got Boofeater in his. I couldn't find any Boofeater at the store, but I did find some Beefeater. So I'm gonna add an ounce of Beefeater. I kind of like it non-alcoholic, to be honest. I feel like this would be really good without the gin. Spike puts gin in his. I'm actually just gonna.
I don't think that would be really good without the gin. I don't. Ugh. Can you just imagine just eating that? Okay, look. My hangover cures have forever and always been. I get very drunk. And before I go to bed, I make sure I have a whole glass of water, and then I have like 2 ibuprofen, and then more water is put next to me. Because the goal is to drink more water, but it almost never happens. And then at some point in the early morning, I wake up and I'm like, ugh, and then I take another ibuprofen, 1 or 2, and then I drink some more water, and then I pass out again for another 2 hours, and then I'm good to go for the next day. And I don't really get hangovers, but and part of that is I am just really good at remembering to do the water and ibuprofen thing. A lot of people aren't, but I know I've done this blackout drunk. And I know I've managed to do it blackout drunk because I will go home alone, but I still will have the next day a full glass of water and an ibuprofen on my bedside table ready to go. It's like, I prepped it. I know what I'm doing. Not everyone can do that. I don't know why Blackout Me is like so responsible, but she is. When Lauren gets blacked out, she does get a little responsible. And so but the idea of just eating just a raw egg and Worcestershire sauce and hot sauce and salt and pepper, horrifying. Ugh, so slimy.
I'm gonna add it as like a flavor. I don't know how much Spike is putting in there. The idea is to put this right down the hatch as quick as you can. Oh, it's not bad. The gin is nice. I actually like the gin there much more than I thought I was going to. That's pleasant. It is salty and Worcestershire and saucy with a lingering bit of heat from the hot pepper. I like that a lot. Without the gin, that might become part of my morning regimen. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. The next drink that I want to make is a Cowboy. This is a real drink.
I feel like it's bad to eat raw eggs, like on the regular, isn't it? Isn't it? I feel like that's not good for you.
There is almost nothing to it. I've never had it, but Jet Black orders one on Callisto when he stumbles kind of cold into a bar trying to track down Faye and Julia during an episode called Jupiter Jazz Part 1. Jet, cold and weary, walks into a bar, asks the bartender if he knows how to make a cowboy.
I want a cowboy.
Forget it. There are no bounty heads around here.
Bartender seems confused by it, but when we cut back to that scene later, we see him with it. So presumably, Jet taught him how to make a cowboy.
I actually have had people teach me how to make a drink, like sitting there, like, because they ask for something with a specific name, and I'm just like, I don't know. So then they'll be like, it's this and this and this. I'm like, ah, cool, and then I can do it. But like, yeah, I don't know every drink. No bartender knows every drink. They have a phone near them that they can look stuff up on.
Whiskey with light green.
That kind of cowboy. Right, yeah, you couldn't possibly be a bounty hunter, could you?
Cowboy is very simple. It is 1 part half and half and 2 parts bourbon. 1 ounce of half and half.
It sounds like something that could go into like a coffee, and that would be fine. You know, I like to booze up my coffee. We use Baileys maybe.
Old Granddad seems to be
Old
my bourbon
Granddad.
of choice today. 2 ounces of bourbon. Old Granddad bounded bourbon. The best Earth bourbon there is. I wonder what kind of bourbon they drink in outer space, actually, on that series. That I don't know much about. 'Cause I don't think people are still making anything on Earth, so they must be drinking Mars whiskey and stuff. The next part of the
Mars
cocktail is to
whiskey.
shake it over ice.
Ice has been bad.
Strain this into a cocktail glass. In this case, a sour glass. That's it. That's a Cowboy. I don't know why this drink is called the Cowboy, but that's what it is.
I mean, why would you think this drink is called the Cowboy? My assumption would be something like because they didn't want they had limited supplies to make something like to cut the bourbon a little bit, so they had some kind of cream, and so they used cream and bourbon and used it to make a drink. Or it was like a way for them while they were out there with the cows or whatever, it kept them, they felt a little bit warm but also like full, helps them feel a little bit more full so that they could go longer without having to like stop for food. I could think of some reasons why cowboys specifically might like this kind of beverage. But those are just guesses.
Smells like bourbon. Better than you'd think. Huh, never had one of these before. It's not very developed, but it's pretty drinkable if you like bourbon. Tastes like bourbon. I mean, like, you get kind of everything that's in that Old Granddad for me, which is mostly peanuts and like Bernie caramel. I think
Because honestly, it's not that far off from like a Black Russian or like a White Russian in this case, but it's like it's not that far off from a drink that lots of people enjoy on the daily.
the half and half might be actually length.
It kind of is. It's a lie. It's kind of far off because, you know, it's a different kind of booze, and like White Russians are what? Cream, Kahlua, and vodka. You know, this is bourbon and cream. I mean, honestly, it's like I would be confused. Like, this obviously would be fine. Like, not my favorite, not my cup of tea, not something I would probably go for, but not something I'd pour out either.
In that Old Granddad for me, which is mostly peanuts and like Bernie caramel. I think the half and half might be actually lengthening the evolution on it. And it does add a kind of creamy mouthfeel that I really like a lot, actually. It's pretty good. It's a little bit jarring because it's like, it's totally unsweetened and shaken, and I don't think there's too many things that you throw in a shaker that don't have some kind of sweetener in them. Definitely not my favorite drink, but it's not bad. So during the episode from Jupiter Jazz Part 1, Faye is really drowning her sorrows. She's hanging out in the bar, listening to a saxophone player play, and just drinking glass after glass of vodka. Saxophone player kind of strikes up a conversation with her and takes her home to kind of look after her. Points out that he's not interested in ladies, so that she's not in any danger from him. Now, she's been drinking vodka all night, but now she's not feeling so good. She's got a cold. He makes her another vodka drink, literally just a mixture of hot water and vodka. I have pretty low expectations for this one.
These are like not very exciting, are they? I'm sorry for the future space people and Cowboy Bebop if this is the kind of stuff that people are drinking. Like, this is sad.
But that's how the cookie crumbles. Some vodka. I don't know what the space vodka was that they were using. It's like Poof Eater gin or something, you know. That would be double. I'm gonna go to triple the volume in hot water. Okay, so here's my vodka and water. I mean, there is something very pretty about it. It's just a crystal clear glass of liquid, steaming. Smells a little bit like a doctor's office. This tastes exactly like a hot glass of water. I don't want to disappoint you. It smells like vodka. It tastes like hot water. There is nothing in this drink. So it's pretty disappointing. I had some ideas though, knowing I was gonna make this drink, about how I might improve upon it. Let's put that away. That's not good.
Lemons?
So I'm gonna actually kind of make a vodka toddy here. It was a
Yeah! Okay, I was wondering if he was going to do something. He's going to put tea in it. I don't know. That would be interesting. I was thinking it's like, I mean, I spent all day yesterday drinking hot water and lemons, just like with some honey in there as well. Like, 'cause like I said, I'm a little bit sick, so, and just drinking very boring stuff. But just trying to think, what would I do to like vodka and hot water? Because again, nothing, but like you could add almost any fruit to that. Like any citrus at all would improve that drink immensely. I'm trying to think what else I might do. Because if you don't like, what are you? It depends on what your goal is, I guess.
curative in that episode. It's a thing that she's taking to feel better. So I have some ideas about how we might do that. We're gonna add, about a half an ounce of a rosemary simple syrup. Made that, it's nothing more than simple syrup that was cooked with some sprigs of fresh rosemary.
Yum.
And then I want to take 1 lemon and I'm going to slice this up. We're going to make some thin slices of this lemon. The thinner the better. And I want to set these kind of inside my glass. I want to add 2 ounces of vodka. Now I want to add this hot water. It's just shy of boiling. I'm going to pour in 4 ounces.
See, that's basically what I was thinking. And so he used rosemary simple syrup instead of honey, but either works.
You know what would look nice in there, I think, and smell nice too?
Mint?
A sprig
Rosemary.
of fresh rosemary.
That makes sense.
So this is my improved Faye's vodka toddy. This is what Gren really should have made for Faye. Ooh, what a lovely aroma. That lemon and rosemary, you can't miss. That's nice. Mildly lemon, just the right amount of sweetness, good warmer. The vodka disappears in it. There's no alcohol taste at all. It's just like a nice, soothing cup of tea, almost, except there's no tea in it. Perfect for somebody who's under the weather. A great little version of a toddy.
Nice.
That was the drinks of Cowboy Bebop. If there are more drinks from Cowboy Bebop you want to see me do, that's great. If there are other animes we should do, let me know. My watches are provided courtesy of my good friends at Crown and Caliber. If you have an interest in watches, you should swing on by the link in the pinned comment below. My barware is all courtesy of Barfly Mixology gear. If you like the tools I'm using on the show and you want to pick up a set of your own, there's an affiliate link in the pinned comment below. I suppose this will be the part in the show when it should just rain and I could brood in an alleyway, smoke a cigarette, and say something tragic and aloof.
That works too.
The real folk blues. That's the closing credits song. It's dead on. I nailed it. I know I did. Check out some of my other stuff. I did some pretty cool things once. I'm still cool. You could watch this video or that video. Watch them all. Like Pokemon. But it's me. You gotta watch all my videos. You gotta watch them all. Maybe that's my new catchphrase. Gotta watch them all.
All right. I mean, fun. That was, not as many videos as, or not as many drinks as one might have thought. Not as complicated. But I like it when me and him are on a similar level. When I'm like, you know what, this is what you could do, and then he makes something, and I'm like, yeah, see, that's what. I feel like it's just kind of my way of proving that I do kind of know what I'm talking about. And that was fun. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll probably be doing some more videos like this, watching him make drinks based on various anime drinks or maybe related to the characters in the anime. And, at some point I kind of, maybe one or two, I'll make a drink myself that's based on a character of an anime. But for starters, here we go. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything else specifically you'd like me to look at, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to see more stuff like this. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.